want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Alright, hello, I guess you're fanging and banging with Gangrel and Kick the Bed. We've made it to episode 5. Sitting here, I got a little shock and awe going on here, so we get in here and apparently producer man Raymond goes, "This is an Attitude Era edition." We go, okay, like, alright, well, good thing we never take notes or prepare anyways.
Right.
You know, I always believe in the 6 Ps, but I haven't followed them yet with this.
We're really prepared today.
Yeah. So what is it again? I love to hear myself talk and go over my 6 Ps. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. But technically, I guess he did send me a message, but I was in the middle of some truck issues. I was broke down in Opelika. And if anybody knows where Opelika is in South Florida, you know you don't want to be a white boy broke down in Opelika.
Okay. Okay.
So, well, here we are today, episode 5. Let's kick it dead. How are you?
I'm great. Should we do a cheers to get started with these beautiful...
Yep, so we got these things are so cute. You see the heart?
There's a heart.
Yes, I did use the word cute, okay. So, they're like dragons, like Game of Thrones kind of, but then they got like these black hearts, which I kind of love because was one of the black hearts.
Sentimental to you.
So there you
Cheers,
go.
here we go. Yes, there's actually stuff in here.
Raymond, that's only cranberry, bro. I know it's like 9 a.m. technically here, but maybe it should have been lit with some vodka. But I don't drink that much anymore. But that's very cool. Well,
cheers to us. Episode 5, we made it, guys.
Episode 5, what a milestone! And we're rocking and rolling, banging and banging. I want some, get some, bad enough, take some, and we're gonna deliver some today. So, what's going on? What's new with you?
Let's talk about your incredible shirt, which I'm obsessed with.
This is my Kiefer Sutherland.
It's so good.
Lost Boys. It's the Lost Boys. This is Santa Carla.
Yeah. You have the shirt. I have the Lost Boys wallet.
Now, unlike the Ric Flair thing where they say when you meet your idol, whatever, you get let down. I was not let down when I met Kiefer Sutherland both times.
Where'd you meet him?
Well, once was at a bar, and the second time was at a bar. At a bar. So, well, first time was just a random bar somewhere in Hollywood. Like, it wasn't the Rainbow. I don't know where it was. It was like some seedy dive bar, but it was like cool. Introduced himself, and I remember I go, I wrestled as a vampire because of the movie Gangrel, and I did well. He goes, I'm glad somebody made some money from it. He was like so bitter. I'm like, oh man, don't be bitter about it. But then so that was it. That was the extent of that conversation. And then one day, but buddy Joey TMD, remember we talked about
of
TMD,
course.
He was a DJ at a strip club called the Star Garden. We called it the Scar Garden.
Oh.
It was seedy, but he had to go do a shift, so I was hanging out with him, and I was gonna road him there, and I was gonna Uber home because I was like really close to there, but he was late for work. So and we're parking in the back parking lot, and he's like, "Blood, you see that?" I go, "Yeah, is that Kiefer Sutherland?" He goes, "Yeah." So went off. Cassie went over and said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, wrestling guy." And he like remember me, so I was like so stoked. He goes, "Ah," and then, so we started talking, and we went in there, and I went in there. I couldn't go home then, so like I went in there and I had some beers with Kiefer Sutherland. It got kind of crazy. He's kind of off the hook, but he was like super nice, and I was just super stoked he remembered me. Like the whole vampire thing was driven and based off the Lost Boys, the whole Brood thing, and here it is, Kiefer Sutherland, and he didn't seem to care too much for the Lost Boy thing or whatever. I mean, he's done so many tremendous things in movie industry and TV industry and stuff like that. But I was stoked. But yeah, so this is my tribute shirt. Yeah, and actually TMD's one that got me the shirt too, Joey, because he knows such a fanboy I am for all that. So
that's amazing.
So I wanted to wear it. It's a little tight on the goozle here if you're watching. You can't if you're listening. Yeah, it's tight. Maybe it's a little size too small for me, but
it looks fine. Since we are talking about your shirt, the last episode you were wearing a shirt, and I don't think that we ended up talking about it.
Oh yes.
Do we want to?
Yeah, sure. It was a WWO shirt. We Will Overcome, and that's a foundation that Ana Diaz, my daughter, started with epilepsy. It's an epilepsy foundation. So We Will Overcome Florida. So she's working on building a foundation and running events and supporting epilepsy and stuff like that. So if you're out there, check that out and give it a follow. We Will Overcome. Thank you for bringing that up because I forgot to touch that. And speaking of shirts, you have a KISS shirt.
I sure do.
So what do they have? The End of the Road tour coming up now.
I know, and we're both missing it. Their final tour, whatever.
Final
which
tour.
It is.
But Kiss is tremendous. But what I like about Kiss is what's going to lead us right around to what Raymond really wants us to talk about
what
today
is it?
the Attitude Era. Well, because the Attitude Era to me was like a Kiss show.
Okay.
It was just kick ass, rock and roll, pyros and balls to the wall, like I don't know, theatrics and just over the top stuff. So I don't know. What do you think? You think you could compare Kiss to the Attitude Era? A Kiss concert to the Attitude Era?
I like how, yes. I mean, especially with the pyro. I mean, who would know better than you? But
you got Kane pyro, boom. But then I got the flames. You know, the whole entrance, the Brood entrance. You know, Vince Russo was a big Kiss fan too.
Oh yeah.
So Vince Russo was a giant Kiss fan. So. You know, Gods of Thunder, you know, goes up and he does the solo, and then the blood streams from his mouth. Well, my tribute to that was the rise to the elevator. Russo's was through the elevator, so that would be the lift. But then mine was the blood spray instead of the blood coming down. So there's all Kiss driven and Gene Simmons.
I love it. And I'm sure Gene Simmons, if you're listening, he loves this right now.
He loves so when he had the arena team, Kiss had the arena football team. I was so bummed because I was already booked for shows, and they asked me to come out and do the inaugural coin toss, and Rikishi got to do it. And I remember when he's like, "Hey, who's Kavika? I could do the coin toss." I go, "Yeah, man." They had asked me, and I was so gutted that I couldn't do it because I was such a Kiss fan. Huge Kiss fan. Scotty Taylor, speaking of the Attitude Era, too cool, too hottie, Scotty. Huge Kiss fan. I actually ran into him at the last Kiss concert. He drove down from Orlando here to the BB&C to see Kiss, and I ran into him. So we got pictures of us standing in front of their banners marking out.
Yeah, no one puts it. It's funny because I dressed up like a spaceman at one of your Halloween events, and you called me out for it. You're like, why spaceman? Why not Star Child or the Demon? I'm like, I don't know.
Andrew Anderson. You know Andrew Anderson, the wrestler? Andrew?
I'm not sure.
Out of the New York area. He's huge friends with Freely and stuff.
Oh, he is.
And was it Peter Criss? Was it Freely? I think it's Freely.
I don't know. Both.
Spaceman, but
yeah,
he was just at his birthday party. One of them just had a birthday with some pictures. I go, thanks for the invite, bro.
I know.
Thanks for the invite.
Where was my invite?
Yeah, but Attitude Era. Wow, that.
Wait, so you were talking about drinking from your chalice and spitting the blood. Did you ever have any mishaps, when you were spitting the blood?
Oh, sure. Well, let's talk about mishaps.
Okay.
This guy Raymond, as he's trying to get the Fangin N Bangin merch, Fangin N Bangin with Gangrel stuff to drop, and they're all putting this together. He sends me ideas, so he sends me a picture from the WWF magazine, and I go, Raymond, I don't think you can use that. Well, this particular picture was me spitting blood.
Oh.
Was me spitting blood on Donald Trump.
No.
Mr. Former President Trump. Or some people will still say president. I
Right.
don't know what side you're on, but this is a crazy world. It's a crazy world out there, so who knows? Whatever side you're on,
Yes.
former or current, however you want to look
Either
at it. It's Trump, Donald Trump. So it's such a weird story. I guess I might as well tell it.
Yeah, you have to
I mean,
know.
I've told it a few times, but might as well do it on our own deal here, right? So,
Right. This is your platform.
So it was. I was sitting home. It was I believe it was a Saturday afternoon. I wasn't on the road shows. The TVs were Monday, right? So I think the Garden was on a Sunday, and I got a message. They said, "Hey, Vince McMahon wants you on the Garden show. He wanted to add you on." So the Garden, wow, the Madison Square Gardens is a tremendous payday, right? So you're not tremendous, but it's prestige. You know, any given time you're out there wrestling, you look and it was the third or the fourth row. You see Deborah Harry, Blondie. You're like, there's Blondie. Oh. It's just so cool, the Garden. There's so much magic in Madison Square Gardens. New York, man, the Big Apple, the Garden. It's just can't say enough about it. You get goosebumps thinking about the vibes just wrestling there, right? So, so I'm stoked. Yeah, wow. So that for one, I'm it's the Garden. For two, I go, wow, yeah. Well, that the money's good, and everything. And three, I love to wrestle. So I was sitting home that day, so I'm getting to wrestle one extra match. So I fly in to get there, and they get the card up or whatever the deal is, and it's with Kane. I'm like, Kane, and I go, hey, were you on this loop? He goes, no, I just got added on. So he wasn't on, and it's a special attraction match, and I'm like, well, it didn't make sense, but whatever. We're in the Garden, dude. And he's like, oh man, so it's good. Kane's super mellow. Have you ever met?
I love, yes.
Yeah, tremendous worker, great.
Mayor Kane.
What's
right?
that?
Now he's the mayor of...
Oh, yeah, mayor of Knoxville. Yeah. Speaking of politics. Yeah. So, well, I wonder how that worked in his political career. That whole deal going down. Because he was part of that. So he's an accessory. He's like, yeah, I don't know. So, like, whatever. So it's time to go wrestle. And, I'm always pumped. You got that extra edge for the Garden. So, I even put more blood in my chalice. I mean, when I'm in there, like, my chalice, I'd be like, house show, TV. I have levels. How much blood I'm going to waste or how much I'm going to spray over. Because you got the white puffy shirts and you got to clean them. And if you're trying to get more than one shirt out of, if you got TV shirts, and they're one and done. And then once you wear it once on TV, it would become a house show shirt. And you can get 2 house shows out of it maybe before it was too dingy or something to wear. And because they got expensive, they didn't buy my shirts. I had to pay like that $38 a shirt, so I would be buying boxes and boxes of shirts at Hot Topics. I should own stock in Hot Topics now. Not now because they're so mainstream, but the old Hot Topics rocked, right? So
they sure did. Memories.
So, where was I at now?
Okay, so you
the chalice level. So we're in the Garden. So I'm like, oh well, we're getting TV pay-per-view and some because it's the Garden, So I just happened to like fill my chalice up to the rim, and since I got it in my hand, you guys can't see it, but I'm gonna be holding my chalice in my hand. So I go to the ring, and I think Kane may have already went out because of the pyros, done his entrance, boom, boom, and then mine's going. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I remember I'm coming out and I could hear the car. They were like the energy's like extra like loud. I was like, wow, they're feeling me in the Garden tonight. And as I'm walking, I'm walking and I'm going along the barricades and I'm coming around to make my way to the stairs. So on my right, so on the right hand side we got the barricades and the fans, and I'm going to the steps. They'll be on my left. As I'm getting right to the steps, I can hear the people and I see a guy, and I go, wow, this guy doesn't look like he belongs here. It just when you see, like, there's wrestling fans, and nothing against wrestling fans. I love wrestling fans. I'm a wrestling fan. You could spot somebody that just doesn't like fit. Stands out a little bit. They're like, why is it? This guy's like money. What's going on here? What is he doing here? But it's the Garden. Deborah Harry, give me 3 rows back. Yeah. So I go swooping up, and I get up on the steps. And I can hear the people like just, whoa. I'm like, wow, they're like, man, like I haven't been here in a while. But like, wow. I was like feeling the love in New York City, because like when I used to come to the ring, like, have you ever watched this one pre-show? But when they do the shows before the main pay-per-view, you'd like that Sunday Night Heat. One time I came down, it was in New York in the Garden, and you would see like these 4 guys, and they had like these posters and all, but they all would like sway to my music together. So I always felt like love in New York, but I was like feeling extra love in New York. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I marched up to the top of them steps, and I could see this hustle and bustle going down under me, but I go to drink from the chalice, and then I hear people, oh, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I never got like, oh, like as I'm taking it in. So now you got to remember, I poured this chalice extra deep.
To the top.
So yeah. I poured it extra deep. So I'm chugging it in because I got some lungs now. You've heard me talk already, so I got some lungs. So I'm chugging it. I can hear, whoa. And so I go deeper, and I take that whole chalice in, and I let it fly. And I mean, I let it fly harder probably than I've ever let it fly. I was like, whoo, and I heard the pop, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, So and I run in the ring and literally get choke slammed and pinned. That's like, woo, boom, because like no match ever goes really long on a house show. Kane, the dude was a monster. So it was like duck one. I threw a few punches, a few kicks or something. Choke slam, boom, 1, 2, 3, easiest money in your life. And I'm like, boom. So when I sprayed that blood, the pop was crazy. I was just like riding a high off of that. Like, I'm over in the Garden, I'm getting this big head. Like, this Gangrel shit's cool, man. And people are digging it. They finally see what I see. They're feeling what I feel. Yeah, so I'm all pumped, So walking back around, and like the pyro dudes and like the tech guys, they're all my buddies, but they're all like, dude, that's awesome. They're high-fiving me. I'm like, what's awesome, bro? No. Oh, you spit on Trump, man. I'm like, who? No, they said, bro, you're the man, dude. You're the man. You're like, stick it to him. And I'm like, spit on what? What? Who? I'm so lost. And then I come back to the thing, and Stephanie's there. Stephanie McMahon, and like, you know, I'm coming through, and I'm lost. You know, I had this really high, and I was feeling good. Now I have this really bewildered look, and then I got Stephanie sitting there going, "My dad's not happy with you." I'm like, what? You spit on Donald Trump. I go, Donald Trump. I'm like, Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
She goes, yeah, not good. I'm like, what was he doing there? Why is this guy sitting? And then I remember that it comes to me. I go, oh, that was Donald Trump. And then this and this. And so what was going on, why the reaction was getting so big, is I guess he doesn't like we touched this stuff back then or something, right? Like so when I was coming around and heading up the stairs, the fans were trying to smarten him up at his bike, so they were trying to pull him back on his shoulders. So he had whoever he had with him, and he had the girl. I don't know if it was Marla. I'm not sure which girl he had. It was what?
Melania at the time. Was it Melania?
Was beautiful blonde. I don't know. White like cashmere like sweater and everything. So they were touching him. So he just pushed forward to the barricade. So that's why the people were popping, because the more they tried to smarten him up,
the closer he got.
He just pushed forward closer to it. So when I was drinking the blood in, they were popping because they knew this was going down. So you know, and then I let loose, with a roar of blood, you know, blood spray, right? And the picture that he was going to use, it was in the WWF. It doesn't show it justice, because you see him with his. You can picture me. I got my hand over my head. He's like this, and she's like, you know, like so. It soaked her, like, and she's in white, so she's wearing as much blood as me. So, and the people are pumping. So now I'm like coming back, but and I didn't think nothing of it. Somehow they replaced her shirt like within like 15 minutes. It was like an $800 like sweater or something. So it was like boom. So like I didn't put two and two together. Like, wow, they replaced that fast and everything. So so the whole time, like, Stephanie's like, yeah, my dad's not. This is not good for you. I'm like, he wants to see you at TV tomorrow. Oh man. So. I didn't sleep very much that night. I'm like, for one, so now I'm thinking, like, not only am I gonna get fired, like, for spitting on Donald Trump, why the hell is he sitting there?
What a way to go.
Two, I'm thinking, am I gonna get whacked by Donald Trump? Because I've watched too many Sopranos or something. So I don't know, or whatever movies I watch, Goodfellas. Or I'm thinking, like, am I gonna end up in the marshes here in Oranges in Jersey or what? Like, so I'm constantly looking in my rearview mirror as I'm driving. Like, I think we were in the Meadowlands the next day. I'm like, man. And I'm calling Luna, and I'm like, I'll spit on Donald Trump. She goes, that's kind of cool. I go, no, Vince wants to see me, and, like, because she wasn't on the road. That I'm like, I don't know. So Monday, so I wait TV, like, I'm like a little puppy dog waiting to, like, try to get Vince's attention. He would, like, he has a march, right? If you ever watch Richard Mann, that we would do promos. It's the same kind of march he has anyways. We don't want to talk to you. Like, he would be like, so, like, and he wouldn't make eye contact, and he'd turn and go, I'm like, oh. And then Stephanie would go like, yeah, David, because I was really cool with Stephanie. She's like, yeah, he's not going to be able to see you today, but definitely get to see you tomorrow. This is not good, you know. Donald's upset. Everybody's upset. They had to get an $800 sweater and whatever. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, not good. Like, so I got to go another night of like, what is this guy doing there? You know, like, wow. And then so Tuesday TVs come, and finally, like before the show starts, they say, "Oh, my dad wants to see you." Steffi says, "My dad's ready to see you." So he always has his little office and stuff. So I knock on the door and I go, "Hello, Mr. Man," and he just looks at me and he goes, "Wasn't that great?" I'm like, oh, he orchestrated the whole thing. It was a double rib. Right?
No way.
So yeah. So he knew Trump wanted to come. So he added him on put him in that spot, added me and Kane on the show, knowing that I'm just a mindless machine and I'm just gonna spray no matter what, you know. So like, so he set the whole thing up. I came out of there and I sprayed it, the blood all over him. That's how they had got the sweater so quick, because they've already kind of investigated what kind it was, so they could replace the shirt and everything. So he ripped him, me, and like everybody. So yeah, because I guess they're friends or something, you know,
right?
Whatever. So yeah, so it was like a double rib. So yeah, that's my yeah. So now. My claim to fame is I spit on the president and didn't get assassinated for it. I didn't go to prison.
It's impressive.
There was no grassy knoll. It was me, and I got away with it. Like, you know. So yeah. So Raymond, he was like pitching shirt ideas. So hopefully the merch is gonna drop soon, guys. Keep looking out for the FANGIN N BANGIN with Gangrel, possibly some Kid Cadet stuff coming soon. But yeah, but he was one of them, and I said, I don't think we could use that picture, Raymond. Like, that's the WWE, you know, whatever. But that's my that's like my attitude era. That's my Vince McMahon rib on me, and then the whole Donald Trump thing, you know. So that is one of like the greatest stories I've ever heard. I think the title in the picture was like Donald Duck they put, but the picture didn't do it justice. If you were there in person or if you would have seen it, it was just, they were like, wow. It was like, you ever see Hobo and a Shotgun?
What?
You ever see the movie Hobo and a Shotgun?
I can't say I have.
A white girl in this white feathered boa dress with blood all over it. It kind of reminded
Hobo
me of
and a
that.
Shotgun.
Looked like a mask. Oh, yeah, Hobo and a Shotgun. That's a Rutger Hauer movie. Like,
okay.
Very interesting. If you guys have nothing better to do in your lifetime, go out and check out Hobo with a Shotgun.
I will add it
and
to
get
the
back
list.
to me on it.
Okay.
I did a movie review on it once, but I can't remember. But now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Now you have to watch it.
Yeah,
I
come
wanna
back in
watch
here
it.
and go over and re-review that movie again.
We could do movie reviews. That's something we can add.
I enjoy that because that's the only way I can shut my mind down. But let alone now to find time to watch a movie. I guess on planes, but I haven't figured out my phone's enough how to record stuff to watch the wrestling. They watch try to keep caught up on wrestling. So it's easy though when the movie's on the plane. You just end up watching a movie, and I'll pick the movie that looks like it's gonna be the worst movie, like the one I have the least amount of interest in because I want to go to sleep, and then I'll end up loving that movie. I'll end up watching the whole movie and loving it. You know.
See,
but Hobo and Shotgun was not on the plane.
Okay,
that was I think probably one of the ones I watched in many of my lonely European nights when I didn't want to watch soccer. And then I found out like just a catalog something on YouTube or something. Who knows? I don't know what it was, but yeah. That's my full chalice, Madison Square Garden's Attitude Era, Donald Duck, Trump spitting on the president and story.
I mean, I was gonna say before you kind of told us the swerve, I feel like Donald like loves to be in those situations. You know what I mean? And then was this before the loser shaves their head match?
This is I think,
way before.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously,
this is 98, 99. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know more about wrestling than I do. I can't remember anything from all the chair shots. Because now the Attitude Era, you want to talk about like the amount of chair shots. So speaking of that, the chair shots, we'll cover that because we kind of touched something on before, but maybe you have an insight to it. I mean, I mentioned how like sickening and it felt for me, but I see you've added a little thing to your.
We have. He's the newest addition to the set. Yeah. It's Mick Foley.
Yeah, it's Mick Foley.
As if I haven't talked about him enough in the past couple episodes. Yeah, I mean, now I'm not remembering the name of the film that he was in with Justin Credible and The Rock. No Holds Barred? Was that the name of it?
No Holds Barred? Or Beyond the Mat?
Oh, Beyond the Mat. There it is. Yeah. Beyond the Mat. Yeah, and I mean with the I Quit match with The Rock and watching.
I was just there, and you could hear the chair shots in the back, like when they were between the ring and the back, but you could just hear them, and it was like, oh.
Yeah, and like his kid sitting in the front row with his wife, and then I can't even imagine.
Now, where were you at? Like, so the Attitude Era. What do you consider the Attitude Era years?
So I feel like it ended in like 2000 and what? I was gonna say 2000, yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
And then it became what did it come after that?
Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless Aggression. Well, it was that Ruthless Aggression album right there.
There it is. Yeah. I mean, like for me.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Yeah, for you is what I want to know. where were you at in your life? Your age? Well, we won't go into your age.
No, it's okay.
Where were you at in
35.
your life?
It's fine.
Wow, 30. See, you fool everybody, because I think myself included. But I knew that you were 35 before you even asked the question. But I didn't until like the other podcast when I asked you, because I was like blown away. I thought you were like 25.
I drank from the fountain of youth when I was in second grade.
Well, we are in
so
Florida, right?
really-
It's somewhere
yep.
in Florida, right?
And
like
don't drink from the
Ponce de Leon
fountain
or one
of
of
youth.
those
It
guys
was
stole it
so
from
gross.
someone.
Oh yeah, that history.
Like-
I remember, and I think we like kind of mentioned it a few episodes ago, but I remember being in middle school, I guess it was, elementary school, and people going around being like, suck it, and I was like, whoa, what the heck is happening here? And I didn't realize
middle school, I am starting to feel old now. Middle school.
Well, I mean, like, everyone was doing it, and I was like so confused, and I was like, what's happening? But like, that was the impact that like DX had on everybody, is that it was like okay to do.
You didn't know?
Right. And I was like, I didn't know.
Oh, somebody.
But yeah, I got into it later, but the thing that drew me to the Attitude Era, I mean, all kidding aside, was the Brood, because no, this is like so full circle for me, because like I've done like wrestling podcasts in the past, and like literally I talked about the Brood so much that on the podcast they made me like take a shot every time I would bring up you guys or like the Brood or Gang. I mean, like, because I was like it was the reason for me, and it's because I'm drawn to like. And I hope this is okay to say, I'm drawn to character. And I like the fact that you guys were like this developed group. And like I knew what I was going to get when I saw you guys. And I loved it so much. And plus, you know, I was like a little gothic kid, you know, and I loved watching the vampires and even Viscera and, you know.
In like episode 1 or 2 here on the podcast, I was by myself just rambling aimlessly. And I think I was trying to explain how the Brood came along. Maybe you can help me understand, because I never understood. Can you tell us what our storyline was? How were we related? Where did we come from?
No, but
that, like it was so confusing. I'd be like one week you hear, oh, it might be possibly brothers from a village, or I'm like, I'm thinking like, damn, my mom or my dad was a hoe, because like, how many brothers do I got? Like, cause we don't look alike, but we're like, but we're all, it could be all vampires in blood, you know, brothers in blood. So, like, you know,
yeah.
But it was like one of those weird things that was never really explained, you know. But
did it have to be like? Did you feel like we need, like, it's the same thing with, you know, there's certain shows you don't know why things happen.
To be so honest, I was just so glad that we ended up as a group, like, because I was a Lost Boy fan and stuff like that. So and a Freebird fan, and so it was a big. And factions, I love factions, you know. So.
I do too. Yeah. I mean, and just there was something so special about the Brood and New Brood. I mean, like it was everything. Like
I felt like when I explained coming into the vampire character, like, oh, you can't do this and that, you know, like wrestling the old school thought mentalities versus where stuff's going and how I don't want to say evolving, but where it's at, you know, like how character driven and different things, but more over the top characters. Like, so now, you know, I'm guilty. I point fingers like when I'm training classes, I go, quit playing the video games. Those moves don't work here, because I'm like watching the kids. It's like a lot of the matches are video game driven moves, like Kenny Omega, right? And half of his stuff like signatured out of, like, a lot of his movesets are signatured out of video games now.
Of course, yeah.
Right,
I mean,
so,
Fallen Angel.
And I'm looking. Speaking of that, I'm looking forward to that, like Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy match. See, I do like, people think that like I'm down on stuff like that, but no, I'm like, oh, where's this gonna go? Because like Jungle Boy, like he gets around, and then Kenny, so I'm real curious how that's gonna go. Like,
me too. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think the main difference now, and like, you know, I'm still watching the product, and I do still enjoy it, but I feel like the last kind of thread that's like holding now that I can be like, okay, Attitude Era ? Would be someone like The Fiend. You know, there's not
who will openly he not recently, but like as he was developing that, he would call me and ask for ideas, or where did you get this gear? What do you think about this? So he was picking minds, and then I see Bliss. Mm-hmm. I believe that what she's doing, some of it, and I haven't seen it all because I can't go and say, hey, this is a fact. But I feel like she's pulling a lot of old Luna stuff and putting it in there, because people don't for some, unfortunately, I think it's really sad. Luna, and I don't want to talk about her all the time. I mean, she's sitting over the shoulder.
Yeah, but
here.
she's such a big part of the history.
But
of this. Yeah,
she did so much for women's wrestling in a way. Her and Sherry Martel, and Medusa too, Alondra, but in different ways. But Luna was like just came around, but the stuff was like when she did the Sable feud, right? So so what reminds me, I just see commercials when they're advertising the show SmackDown, whatever it is, the one the Bliss is on, and Luna, I gave her the idea. You ever see the Warriors?
Yeah, of course.
So when they have the bottles on the thing, and he's like, "Warriors, come out and play." He's clicking the bottles, click, click, Warriors. And I told her, I said, you should do that with Sable. So she did it with her nails and said, click, click, Sable, come out and play. Then, so when I hear that one commercial, for SmackDown or Raw, whatever one, the Bliss and them are on, man, it just feels like she's just pulling a lot of Luna stuff, she was just pulling Warriors, the different movie things. So I think that he draws off of that. So I think, Fiend.
Yeah, the Fiend. Mm-hmm.
He pulls from a lot of that old stuff. He pulls from that, and he's not scared to pull from it. A lot of his character, I believe, is from Sin Bodhi.
Oh.
He took a lot of Sin Bodhi stuff and questionable. I think Sin Bodhi might actually have a sister named Abigail.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
it's like that. Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think. I mean, or had one. I had a sister or something. So, no, there's some there. So he definitely pulls from that stuff. So I'm sure he's an influence on her from pulling from that stuff. So they're both. So yeah, I truly believe. Yeah, that I can see what I'm saying, that string, that attachment keeps you that pulling to the Attitude Era with them. And stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's what I'm missing about now is look at your collectibles, look what you have, this is so iconic and amazing, and it's we want to collect these because it's let
me ask you, did they make the Edge doll to be better looking than me, or is that just the way life is and I'm just not seeing it the right way? I'm not sure. I'm not telling anybody, but I'm pretty sure Susan, my girl, my fiance, I think Edge was her guy, and she just settled for the second.
Oh, no.
Because Savannah tells me, right, she goes, no, my mom liked Edge. She didn't like you. I'm like, oh, so she did watch me. She goes, no, she looked like Edge. But I don't think, to be fair, I'm just joking with Susan. I don't think she came in on the E&C era. She wasn't I don't think she was watching when I wasn't there. So
okay.
I wouldn't want to think that. I wouldn't want to think she just loved me because of that.
No, she loved me. Oh my gosh, you showed me that proposal video again.
Well, yeah. So so the Attitude Era and all that was cutting edge, and as I was getting back to it earlier, I was talking about when I was worried about doing a vampire thing, and Luna was going, "No, you could do it. You should do it. You should do it." I couldn't. I remember a photographer. I don't want to say Annie Leibovitz, but I don't think it was. But I can't. I don't want to quote that because that's a heavy main name to quote. I don't want to say that. But they came in to shoot Entertainment Weekly, that magazine, Entertainment. They came in to shoot The Rock and Vince McMahon and Stone Cold for some reason, and they ran across me in the hallway. She ran across me. She's this really famous photographer. She ran across me, and and I was in a long trench coat. I had my sunglasses on, my hair's down. I had been out all night partying. She's like, oh my, and she just pulls her camera out. She goes, go here, move, and Luna's like, just keep doing it. And I remember I got so much heat from the office and stuff because they were there for that shoot, and she spent 4 hours just shooting me, moving, just talking to me, and I didn't think nothing of it. And they did the article, and it was, they did thing with Vince McMahon and whatever in his office. It was a nice thing in Entertainment Weekly or whatever. A nice spread on The Rock and him and Rock with his red jackety black shirt or whatever it was, whatever, when he was looking dapper. And I think nothing, so none of those pictures showed up. And then it was the end of the year, Entertainment Weekly, the end of the year thing. And there was a column, and it said, Stud Muffin Gangrel changes the face of pro wrestling to entertainment. It said that the whole vampire thing, I shadowed wrestling over to entertainment. I go, oh. It was a compliment in one way, and the other way I was how could I ever knock anything current that changes anything now? Because I was what these guys are now. That was me in 98 or even before, so trying to do it in 91 as the Vampire Warrior. I was trying to do that and push things to this different level. So I'm not one. I sit there when I go to say something, I go, I how can I say anything? Because I was the guy that was pushing the envelope too, that putting a vampire or vampire wrestling, maybe we had the Mongolia baller, but we're not gonna have some like Lost Boy vampire wrestling and stuff like that. So I see that, and then I remember I get called out by the students a lot in training, because they'll come in, they'll be like they're just like their fourth weekend, and they show up with kick pads and kick pads on and stuff. You don't know how to get through some of your basic moves and footwork yet. You guys got kick pads? Who wears kick pads? Why does everybody wear kick pads in wrestling? And they go, Coach, I saw a video of you in 1987 and you had kick pads. I go, yeah, you got me. Yeah.
You can never be too safe.
I wear kick pads, and technically I still wear shin guards, like with the Gangrel character. If you ever noticed, those aren't boots. The boots are low cut. They're New Rocks. They're like from out of the mall, and the kick pads are from like the Knights, medieval times, Game of Thrones and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So they're like shin guards. I used to wear the whole thigh thing at all the leathers, and I still wear those same ones from when I debuted.
Really?
I've been wearing the same ones. I still have the same boots. Boots are the same boots from there. I mean, I had a couple other ones, the flame pair and a black and silver pair that I got rid of, or they were disintegrated, and I think, and being stupid, not thinking I'd ever have a podcast so I could have my boots sitting up behind me. I got rid of them, or giving stuff away, but yeah. So yeah, no.
Did you guys ever have, or you specifically ever have like a ritual before you rose up to the ring?
Well, I believe it or not, I pray a lot, but my rituals start in the locker room. I dress I'm very superstitious, Mm-hmm. I have to put one sock on, a knee pad, another sock. Then I got to stop for 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay.
Whatever, and then it just and if for some reason I put one on quicker than the other, I'll undress totally.
That's
all
so
the way down to the wrist tape and everything, and then I would go to the elevator early, but I got broke of that one time because I told you I got caught under there. That was where my elevator, the lift was, is where the percussion pyros were.
Right.
And I went under there really early one time to get my head together. I can't remember what match it was. It was something that was of importance, and there was a lot to remember. So I was nervous, and I would go there and hide and find some shelter, and I'd get under there. You had to bend over and stuff, but nobody bothered you. They couldn't find you. You were there, and you could think. And those damn percussion pyros went off. It was the loudest thing. I haven't been right since. I think that's why I struggle with the firecracker things we were talking about.
Yeah, right.
Zimbody,
man.
Anything it pops now. It's funny that I'll explain wrestling like a fireworks show and a match and stuff, but I can't handle any close percussions or any big booms anymore. A lot of it's because of that. Yeah. So,
well, that makes sense to me.
But I would get under there. The ritual, I'd get under there, and I just pretty much like what I do to myself. Then I used to get on there and be like, you got this, you you belong here. I'd have to convince myself I belong to, because I'd always doubt that I belong there at any time. I never felt like I was good enough, as a thing. I always want more out of myself, this and this and that. So I was doing a lot of that under there, and then a lot of Hindus. I did a lot of squats. It wasn't uncommon for me to do 300 Hindu squats before a match. If you notice, I always came up sweating.
Because you were squatting.
Yeah, and so now it hasn't changed much before a show, before I go out the door. But now I'm going, you can work with these young guys. You're not that old. So now I'm convincing myself I'm not old enough. You can still go with these young guys. Go. So and I still do the squats. Not 300.
Not 300.
Like
okay.
Probably 50 or something.
So a lot of squats.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the 10, I was complaining about my back the last episode and stuff, and it turns out it's the squats. It's the Hindus. My hamstrings get so tight from doing all the Hindu squats that it pulls my lower back, so I'm overworking that. So I don't train legs in the gym with machines and stuff, but I do a lot of just Hindu squats and stuff. So
I'll have to try some today. I'll tell Sheldon we're gonna do Hindu squats in lieu of Gangrel.
Did you tell Sheldon that I was not an Ultimate Warrior?
I sure did. That was the first thing I told him. I was like,
Sheldon's her trainer, by the way, in case you just missed a couple other episodes, and we went over You know, their training talk is about wrestlers, and his favorite wrestler's a wrestling
Yeah.
fan. He was like an Ultimate Warrior and
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. And
Yeah.
I definitely leaned on the Bret Hart side.
That's okay. That's great.
Dingo Warrior. Was it Blade and Dingo and Sting and what were they called? Blade and Dingo and Blade or something? The
I'm sorry, we're
Blade
paying
Runners.
attention.
They were called the
Oh, the
Blade
Blade
Runners,
Runners?
I think, before they wrestled them. Yeah, so cool. So yeah, Cactus. Yeah, so this all started with Cactus, but those were some sick chair shots and stuff. And
Very, I mean, terrifying. So I guess.
oh yeah, you were middle school. Right?
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
where we were. I would get so
Right.
lost. Yeah, keep
No,
me
because
focused.
it's okay.
I can't keep myself focused. You gotta
No,
stay with me.
that's
So you're in middle school, and you're watching the Attitude Era, and you're hearing all this suck it.
Oh, yeah.
and all that, and so.
But I didn't get it. Now, like, as an adult, I go back and I appreciate it so much more. And I appreciate the fact that they were willing, to kind of, go across. I don't know what the right word for it is. That they were okay taking that risk. Now, they don't.
Well, wasn't PG then.
Oh no, it's certainly. I mean,
And it wasn't a public. It was like Vince McMahon owned it. Like so.
Yeah.
Now it's like a publicly owned company. Right?
Yeah, and it's great because I feel like we have so many like role models now. You're like, oh, I look up to Bailey. I mean, I don't know what she's doing now, but do you feel like we could ever have that element of the Attitude Era again, or is that just something that we need to be like, it happened then, it's never going to happen again?
Well, I think could there be that ECW magic again?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of. Could there be a Brood again? Are these just these magic moments and times in life that were just these things that you got to appreciate them more, and then you try to recreate it like like. It's like revamping a vampire character. Can't like if I was Gangrel, and that was a risk, right? I was pushing the envelope. I was different coming out the gate, and then you have this entrance, this big kiss pyro of an entrance, and this and this and that, and then the music's banging, and there's the strut, and everything falls into place, and you get two awesome, talented dudes to stand on your right and your left, and then you form a group called the Brood. I mean, that's just a special moment. It was something very special. And that time that wasn't meant to happen, it organically happened. Like, it organically blew up to what it was. And as remember for that, can you recreate that? No, I don't think you can. I can't. The magic's not. That moment was there, and you just need to sit back and accept that and admire that and enjoy that still and go, that was a special moment in my life, and I was glad and I was blessed to be a part of it, and not be like, well, these guys should be like this when you're watching wrestling now, because that's not fair to them, because they're trying to create their moments and they're trying to figure it out, because they can't go, well, we can't go be the Brood again, and we see that, and like as I watch AEW, I see there's like the like Jericho's like the DX, right? They're like crushing limos, and and then maybe MJF's like the corporate ministry. I don't know,
Do you think that there is a current wrestler, whether male or female, in Ring of Honor, Impact, WWE, AEW, that you think could have like made it in the Attitude Era if we had a time machine, whole scenario? Anyone currently that you would be like, yeah, they would have fit in?
That's a tough one. Because I'm not like. Throw me some names. Throw me some names. Help me out.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, let's say Dolph Ziggler. Like, do you think?
Oh, I thought you said female wrestler.
Oh, no, male.
Dolph Ziggler, yes, Attitude Era, yeah, because he could have been easily Val Venus. Like, he could have been easily something of that nature. Like,
right.
Yeah, and he's talented, and I think he's, like now they're held back from things like Attitude Era. It was the Wild West. It was like pull your guns and go, guys. Right? No bad intent there, but it was like it was a free for all. Like boom, go go go. Now their matches are very much contained, controlled, and it's PG. So a lot of things are held back. Dolph Ziggler, yes, I believe he could.
I know you had mentioned you're also a fan of Damian Priest. Do you think Damian...
What happened? Where is Damian Priest? What he had this Raw debut, right? And now I can't find anything on him. What is going on? Do you know anything about that?
I don't.
I hope he's not hurt. I don't think he's hurt. I don't know. It's never good to have a really strong debut like that and then disappear again. But I'm a big fan of Damian Priest. But yeah, could he with the right group of people? Because like now. You got to take things in consideration in the Attitude Era. Is the Attitude Era, but the wrestlers are had attitudes. They all like chips on their shoulders. These guys have put some time in. Most of them have put time in. Some of them are young, like I think that's why I was with Edge, is because I knew a lot of the older guys. So I jumped past Go quick and wrestling with all the overseas tours and jumping into Stampede and going all to Japan. I was baptism in the fire. Bang, bang, bang. They either killed me and eliminated me and I quit, or I got better, made friends, and survived. Learned how to get through it and got and I'm blessed. I got through it and made a lot of great friends throughout the time. So. So there's very few young ones that came in, but a lot of those guys have already grinded it out in Japan and territories and all that. So they know they were good. They know they were good. Nobody was there to tell you, hey, you're not going to do this or this or this. They let you go out there and try to steal the show. Do your best. And everybody had a storyline, and every win and loss meant something. And we went over this, I think, before the other day. Everything meant something. So it was like, all right, I told you, most of my agents would come to me and they'd go, all right, man, this is what we need at the end. If it goes good, we're taking the credit. If it goes bad, we're burying you. Yeah. Don't let us down. Thank you. Thumbs up. And they walk away. Go, oh my God, I don't want to like it. But everybody was eager to D'Lo, even the younger guys were just aggressive. Val Venus was tremendous. Billy Gunn, athletic. Kenny Shamrock, as wild as Edgy was. Big Boss Man, been around the block and back again, and he still put in 110%. That dude was so good, the Big Boss Man. It was ridiculous how good he was, and just everybody. And then from the top to the bottom, Undertaker, Kane. I don't think I've ever wrestled somebody that was just as easy in the ring, but looks like a monster, so believable, And then I never got to work with Mick Foley or Kekchek, which was a bummer because that would have been, I think, Vampire versus any one of his characters would have been awesome. Gangrel versus Dudla, Gangrel versus Mankind.
Yeah. What do you think about someone and I think that you've worked with him before, because I'm thinking of characters, someone like a Danhausen.
I've worked Danhausen. I struggle with Danhausen because I messed up his spot.
Oh, did you?
Can you do it for me? Do the Pee Wee.
Are you talking about the
do the dance? Yeah, break it down for me. Go tequila. It's
right.
Bum, 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 and I missed the kick. They all kicked, and I was like, oh, and then I was after. So it was almost like a comedic relief because we did a show somewhere. No, it's gonna be good, and they're out there. They all kicked, boom, and I went, oh shit, bang. But the people popped and then I did the Pee Wee Herman with him, and stuff like that. So then, I was trying to get Dan to come down for a show. When I did GWA, but he moved to Canada or something.
Yeah.
And then, so it's got to coincide with his Ring of Honor dates and all that. So, I get along well with him. Was he a Florida guy originally? Or he lived down here?
From Detroit. Yeah, he was down here for 2 years and then met his wife, and she lives in Toronto.
So now on that note, that I like Danhausen, I do go I have a hard time comprehending characters. Now, do I think he would have made it in the Attitude Era? I don't know. Maybe in a Blue Meanie faction, type of thing, right? I'm not knocking his work on him, but just the size. And we're talking about the character he's doing now. He's carrying teeth in a jar. I don't know that maybe he would have ended up like Isaac Yankem or something. I don't know because I don't know you had some creative control about characters and stuff, but a lot Vince McMahon was yay or nay. So would that, in his mind at that time, worked? So it comes down to what Vince would have thought worked or not, because at the end of the day, he signed off on everything back then. So so that would have been a tough one with the size and the jar and stuff, but would have been interesting. But if he was and it did work, I would have seen him in and then I'm not disrespecting him, but it would have been the Job Squad thing or something, or feuding the Blue Blazer or something
Interesting.
He's collecting the Blue Blazer's feathers or something
Feather!
It's an evil feather, and how's it going to? That's not very good.
It's okay. It's not so bad.
Well, I'm not even sure if he knows what accent he's doing. I believe it's supposed to be a German. What is? Can you explain Danhausen to me and the rest of the world? Because I have friends that are huge fans of him, like people like Josh Crowder, a buddy of mine. He's at the casino. They love him. They're like, please just get him to come in. And
So, like, from when I knew him, from like when he used to work down here, he was kind of figuring out like what he wanted to do. And I remember he told me when she's like, I think I'm gonna start painting my face. And I remember like I think he wanted to do it like They Live, the Piper movie. And then I think it's also Pazuzu from Exorcist.
Did you just cuss at me? Who did I do, and who's and who's zoomed who, or what just went down? Can you say that again? Pazuzu.
Who is like the Pazuzu, yeah.
Pazuzu.
The demon from The Exorcist that possesses.
Pazuzu.
Yeah.
Alright, so Pazuzu. So the demon from The Exorcist. Yeah. I should know that, because I watched The Exorcist, but I didn't know the demon actually had a name.
Yeah, Pazuzu.
You're scaring me. You're scaring me.
I'm scared.
You don't have any demons with you right now.
Not today.
Because I'm going to go get some sage.
Holy water.
Because doing these ghost story things, I thought I carried one home the other day.
We still have to talk about that. I don't know, maybe since this is the Attitude Era episode, maybe next episode we go ghost stories. But I think it's kind of a culmination of like, and I could be totally wrong, and I apologize if I am. And also, I think there's some Nosferatu in there, and I think there's some Conan O'Brien in there too.
The dry humor.
Yeah, he's just like.
Well, yeah, the look in the head. Yeah.
And he's like a huge like Simpsons fan, and I think it's just this. He took this mixing bowl of everything that makes him, and put it all in this bowl and stirred it up, and then it's. And the interesting thing, since we're talking about ghosts and all that, his parents are ghost hunters. So I think there's a sprinkle of that in there too, maybe, possibly. But
explains a lot. Housing.
I respect that he is like, he's going for it.
Like even way back before, he's in Ring of Honor now, right? But before, when he was finding his way with that, he would always just. No matter what, he would get into his character. He'd paint the face, but he would send a promo from like he'd be in like his garage, and he'd spilling blood on the floor, and it was just such a dry sense of humor to me. But it was funny. He just liked this guy.
Yeah,
he just liked him. Now, in the Attitude Era. Like I feel like we're gonna do like a Rocky movie when it's the video game. Yeah. Remember the Rocky when he made the comeback, because it was like the Rocky character could knock out the current like champion.
Of course.
Could he stand toe to toe with what people realize? Everybody in that Attitude Era, like exception of few, like Crash Holly was a smaller guy. There's a few small guys, and I was a smaller guy. I was 6'2", 238,
which is
40.
crazy thinking. Like
I was a smaller guy there. They were beast. They were like animals, and like could he and that style of work was smash mouth, like boom boom boom. The only time that if you watch like Attitude Era matches, especially the TV like Raw match or anything, the time you see him slow down is somebody like I was working Scorpio one time, and he grabs a rear chin lock only because like I had got 32 stitches in my face from a super kick, but it's like you're good, yeah, and then boom, we're right back at it running. It was like bam 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 bam. That Attitude Era was just like wide open, but with that being wide open, I think we talked pros and cons a while ago. The injuries, the injuries that came from it, the neck injuries. There's a lot of broken necks, and a lot of things, and of course the drug abuse came from that. But man, it was the Wild West. So could he survived, or is he in his perfect environment now? Like everybody has a timing for something, right? Perfect place, everything's meant to be. So I think he's where he needs to be now. I don't know that he could. When I think about it, would survive in that Attitude Era unless it was comedic relief, and I don't know how long that would last. Because you had think about it. You had Bradshaw and the Acolytes, APA protection, and they were doing. They for a while they made a living and just they didn't even wrestle anymore. They were just doing bar scenes and tearing up the referee's bar or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Or they would just set up a mock set back thing and beat the hell out of people. Because I could see Danhausen there on a weekly basis trying to win at a card game. Danhausen's got 5 aces. Amazing, What? And then poor Hausen would become like a Florida Championship wrestler. Kevin Sullivan used to throw. You remember the Heavenly Body, Jimmy Backlund, rest in peace. Well, he started out. He was just called Jimmy Backlund back then. But every TV, it was this in Florida Championship Wrestling. Kevin Sullivan, wow. Jimmy Backlund just had this single head and red curly hair, and they'd literally throw him through this wood wall, and they would have to build the wall again every week.
Oh no!
Every week you'd be like, oh, he's going through the wall. There it is. Wow. I think that would have probably happened to Danhausen, and he would probably ended up with the APA in a card game every week, trying to dupe them with a card up the sleeve or some kind of like, I'm a Danhausen magic trick. Anyway, he's trying to slide it, and I could see Ron going, yeah. And John's like, no, hell no. I could see it in a comic way, but how long could he last before they was he a smaller guy? They would be trying to destroy him with bump, big things, But
Fair.
so yeah, I think so. Did that answer your question?
Of course.
I think I gave myself a headache. I'm trying to do that imitation. I can't talk that. I busted a blood vessel. Probably look at my eyes are bloodshot now.
Blink. Well, obviously, besides the Brood, what would you say were some of the other factions, or maybe what was your favorite faction from the Attitude Era? I mean, you mentioned APA. I mean, is there? Well, I guess
Raymond would love for me to say the Undertaker in the Ministry.
The Ministry. Yeah, the Ministry.
But I'm not. I'm not. And I'm not biased, but DX was like there, but and then I'm not saying this where I'm gonna go in a biased way. I'm not gonna say it, but it's because I'm going with this because it was a faction that was meant to fail and make fun of people, but I thought they made it work, and it was the Oddities.
The Oddities?
The Oddities.
Okay.
The Oddities. So, your Goga, Kurgan, but your John Tenth, they put a mask on Goga, like he's a big Cartman or something, and then you had Kurgan, and you had Luna, and then who else was in there?
Well, like ICP, didn't they have?
And then they had the ICP, which was crazy because she couldn't stand them.
Oh, no.
Because they were late for everything. And
that's not okay.
She ended up beating her manager up. She also beat up the Men on the Missions manager, whatever his name was, Oscar too, Luna. That's all whatever, some other story. But yeah, I just think that was I really felt like they were taking the piss on him, like a joke, threw him in there, but. To me, it got over, but you'd hear that music. Wow, you just wanted to put your hands up. It just made you feel happy, and you wanted to go. But speaking of Attitude Era and that, I about got fired over that, the Brood versus the Oddities, right? So John Tinted, he had a temper. He's a tough guy. He's a big sumo wrestler. He's known, and it was New Japan as this big star. They made him the Shark. He's gone through some weird things in his career, and now as he's tumbled down the line here, they're telling him he's gonna wear a brown mask and carry a doll out and be called Goga.
Yeah. Right.
So imagine his pride, coming from the era he came from, and worked his way up to stuff, being a sumo wrestler in Japan, just how proud and prideful he was, and how this probably made him feel, right? So, and Luna understood that. She's very very old school with the second generation and her Uncle Mad Dog and how that feels. So she's coming to me and they're telling me, hey, you guys gotta the Brood. It was me, Christian. You just gotta squash these guys. Give them nothing. I'm like, okay. Does John know? For one, I don't want this big guy trying to kill me. They're like, no, it doesn't matter. This is the office people that no, you gotta go get over. I'm like. And I'm sitting there with Edge, and I'm like, man, I don't do it. And then I got Luna in my ear going, David, John, how he feels, this. Can you just do something in the match to make it whatever? And then so I'm so torn. I know that and then this is what I have to teach to my students now. You got to go, and if it's your time, it's your time. Unfortunately, everybody else had their time. Now is your time. You gotta do what you gotta do. And say sorry about it. But if it's your time to get over, and that's what they're telling you, you gotta accept that, or you're not gonna get over. You're gonna end up getting fired. So, I my respect. My old school thing is crashing with this whole new school world, whatever, and values and morals, And so I go in the match and I sell. I sell for John.
Yeah.
And then Adam comes in and Jay, and they eat him up. Bah, 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 bah. They bounce him all over. I'm the biggest guy in the Brood, and I sell. I get in the back, and I get so much heat, and then they're like threatening. No, you just let you go. What the hell? I'm getting like major heat, and I just look at Luna like, ugh. You know what I mean? and like I was just like they left, and I was just like, ah. And I knew it was wrong, but they, I was thinking I was gonna get fired, but she just goes, "You did the right thing." I'm like, yeah, you'll see that when I get fired,
Was there ever a day you didn't think you were going to get fired?
It was tough, but yeah, so I was pulling for the Oddities. I kind of like the Oddities.
I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I root for the underdog
just
too.
Because a lot of those reasons and my respect and like, but here I was, same thing. I'm like vampire crossing over, but I was doing it in like a way they weren't. That was my choice to want to be a vampire and want to be these Lost Boys, where I don't think any of them asked to wear a pilot helmet, whatever, to go mad, carry a doll. And Luna was supposed to be this tough, mean, queen of mean, and blah, try to describe me as like using a screwdriver to cut roast beef, to Princess Luna. Like, where she's wearing a tiara and carrying a star wand, but they all got handed bunk. And they made it work, and so like I was pulling for them, and then I thought it was a really fun group, and then at some point I was the happiest I seen her there because she just quit giving a crap, and so that was cool. So I was pulling for them, but at the end, me pulling for them and being having that old school mentality and trying to show respect, I about got fired over it. So got a lot of heat over it, and then when I still watch the match back, I go, oh man, I should have just should have figured a different way to make everybody happy, but I did what I know best, go out there and bump for somebody, and it about cost me my job. Yeah. So that's how the Attitude Era was too. With the Attitude Era, you hear today, gone tomorrow. Like there's so many guys, they could just be gone. Well, wrestling hasn't changed much. I don't think it's still like that now.
No, that's so scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are we? Are we doing okay on time? Do we have some time? Okay, so I'm not sure what Adam or Edge's status is right now with the WWE. Man, I don't think that. Have we seen him for a little bit? Is he still?
Edge is still.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a scenario where Edge goes to?
He sent me, like, I was just texting. I'm not trying to name drop, but I guess I am. But
You're
I
allowed.
Somebody sent me the cutest, the most adorable picture I've ever seen. Him and his two daughters on Father's Day, and one's making this face, and like I sat there. I was in my living room yesterday, and like I had like this tear happiness because I was so happy for him because I think he's an incredible man. I know we've all had our ups and downs, and we've all had our scenarios and our scandals and stuff, but he's just an amazing guy. And when I seen that picture and seen how happy he was and the two daughters, I'm like, Edge and all his girls, And then I was thinking, I'm blessed with my girls. I got Anna and Susan. We're all good in life. We're on different levels, different places, but we've all found our path. I was so happy. But I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But I guess I had the name drop.
No,
so
you're allowed. You're allowed. I did a cover of one of his entrances, the, of course not, Alter Bridge song or whatever. I think I sent it him at one point. But do you think there's the scenario where his contract runs out, he goes to AEW, and then we see you in AEW as well? Obviously, since Christian's there.
I think Tony Khan would. Yeah, he's the kind of guy that would think about that. Could it be possible? Yes. Would Edge go do that? I don't know. With his daughters, and he's so happy. I mean, does he really want to go anywhere else now, do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't talk to him about business. I mean, we're mostly just text. It's just happy holidays, like just really like just, hey, positive vibes your way, buddy, or something.
Right.
I don't know. Tony Khan's, but I don't think it would be a permanent thing. I think it might be a shock thing or something, if that was to happen. But I don't know. I don't pick up vibes that I think Edge wants to be out of there or anything like that.
I mean, like,
doesn't his wife's still working there too?
Yeah,
right?
she is.
I don't pick that vibe up. Christian, I'm glad to see he's doing a thing with Matt Hardy. That's I don't know. I just tried to watch the last episode. Like, I didn't have a lot of time. This is probably, I don't know when this is airing, but he locked him in a cage. He's trying to cash a check. I don't know. I'm glad to see that they're like working with each other. So curious to see. I'd like to watch that match. It'd bring back some good memories. But could there be the whole Brood feud again with the Hardys? That would be like iconic.
Are you kidding
but
me?
But you have to get Michael Hayes back over. Doc Hendricks or whatever he's called, Michael Hayes. Jeff and Matt, and then myself or Edge and Christian. You know, that would be interesting. But I believe it would be like a one-off pay-per-view thing. I don't think it would be like, hey, we're gonna give you a contract, Gangrel.
Okay.
You know. But I told you my perfect scenario is I would love to like have a regional territory and be a support group and stuff like that running. Because I do have passion for training and I would like to be able to do it without time restraints and money pressures, like to keep things running. I would love to just be able to train purely with passion and then get the best out of every person and get their footwork and just make them amazing talents, you know, or find what they have in them and bring their best out in them. You know?
What's your favorite thing about being a mentor?
Well, it's selfish, some of it. Some of it's selfish. It's like every time a new student walks through the door, it's like, I go, I got to relive my life with no mistakes. So every mistake I made, even up to that day, whatever, they're not going to make it because I'm going to save them every heartache and tear. And then I kind of live through their youth and their energy and their happies. But at the same time, I'm just as hurt as they are with their downs and their frustrations and stuff too. And then I start taking that personal. So, but yeah, I mean, they're just their energy. And that want and that drive that they have is just, I don't want to say I'm an energy vampire, but I'm like creeping that energy off them and stuff. But I love to see when things click with them, when it all comes together, and like when they first run their like, because like I don't rush you through training, you know, like it's a lot of rolls, and then a lot of like then I teach you a lot of formation, how to bump and basics. I stay basics. You don't even hit ropes with me until like 6 months or 7 months down the road. I really keep you basic. So, but when it all first starts coming together, and they're just like, oh, and you see this big smile on their face, and they get it. It's one of the most amazing things in the world, you know. It's just, yeah. So it's selfish because like I live through them, but like, and I guess I'm stealing the energy. I don't know. I just love to see them all come together as one, as a family, all wanting the same thing, and that bonds that build amongst each other. Because I tell them, you know, the odds of making it, it's a better odd of becoming a pro football player. There's more teams and positions, you know, than there is wrestling companies and stuff for positions, you know. Mm-hmm. But these friendships and stuff your family now, some might make it, and some of you will probably stay right here, but you got to remember that this is your family. This is where you started. If you make it, do not forget them. Those of you, do not be upset. They're the ones that do. Just to be happy for each other, because you guys started together, and you're always going to have that bond. My best memories and stuff for wrestling, and I have a hard time remembering things, but it goes back to my training days and just being broke and trying to get there to make training and trying to get that extra 5 minutes in when they're saying, all right, you got to go home, and you're still trying to get 5 more minutes in, and then you sit out in the parking lot and talk for another half hour, and you go home and lay in bed and you think about it for another hour or two, you know, and then the next day's there, repeat, you know, but those friendships you build and those bonds they're amazing ones that'll carry a lifetime. And so I try to teach them not to devalue that, just to appreciate that, not to throw that away, and not to overlook that kind of stuff.
It's family,
yeah,
you know, for
truly
life.
Truly
and
is.
One of the things that I've like began to realize, like as I get older, now that I'm 35, is like we determine our own. I can't believe it. Is like success doesn't have to be determined by if you get a WWE contract or an AEW contract, you know, like you're still successful going to school and like, you know, training and learning all this, like, you know, it's
well, success, wealth, none of that determines that. It's your happiness.
Exactly.
Are you happy? Are you okay with the person that you see in the mirror? Mm-hmm. If you're living your life the best, you're living your life, and you're living it honest, and there's nothing. That's success. That's and then if you're blessed enough to find an amazing person to share that life with, and then you're both living that same life, and it's just gonna steamroll, and the positivity is just good. Like all the, you know, people negative. I try not to do it, and I catch myself sometimes. Because if you speak with a forked tongue, you speak with negativity, it's going to find you. You're just creating more negativity out there. It's going to draw like a magnet. So you got to put positive out there. So, and then I almost like preach that a lot, but I do spit that a lot. You know, mm-hmm. You know, you be positive. So when I hear these guys, I go, don't do that. And a lot of them, like there's a couple. I'm not even going to name her name or anything. One student is like tremendous talent. And she's come over with me. She's at Magic City now. But like I got to get her like facials under control, like, because she just Everything she's thinking is on her face.
Okay.
Which in wrestling, having amazing facial expressions is 100% positive. But not being able to control them when you're in a locker room or when somebody's giving you, and you're like rolling your eyes. And,
oh yeah.
Like so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's things that like I wouldn't think about unless that's why you're such a great teacher, is because you think of the things that we don't think of.
We had to learn. I had to learn on the road. You kept showing up, they beat the heck out of you. Keep showing. Eventually, you picked it up. If you stayed around long enough, somebody helped you or something. And I came in at an easier area where the schools were trying to do stuff, but it's nothing like now. But you had to get out there and learn on the road under all these different wrestlers and stuff like that. So all the heartaches and the crying in the hallways and the secretly crying into my pillows at night, I'm trying to save them all this pain and all that. I'm not trying to shortcut them, but I'm just trying to I don't know, help just shape their path a little bit with less heartache and stuff, and eventually by shaping it that way, I think it'll speed it up. Because I always tell them, you give me 6 extra months and you don't worry about nothing, I'm going to save you 6 years. But I can't have you bother me about running ropes and coming to me with characters and this and this and that. I need you to just give me 6 months of working on your basics, your footworks, and don't question it. And I promise you I'll save you easy 6 years.
It reminds me of like hearing this is the Karate Kid, where he'd be like, paint the fence. And then he kept being like, why do I have to keep painting the fence? And then one day Mr. Miyagi starts going like this and he's like, paint the fence.
Yeah.
It's like you're learning the
Karate Kid. I am not a Ralph Macchio fan.
Okay.
This guy, no, now you've opened a can of worms.
Oh,
and now like this Ralph Macchio, like and I guess it comes down to that. I guess I'm too the damn Karate Kid. I thought he was so. His poor mom moves. Is trying to make a better life for him, and all he did was complain. He picked the fights with these guys.
I see.
Then he goes and tries to mat the guys.
T. Yeah, I see both sides.
Yeah.
That's why in this remake, Cobra Kai, he is painted as.
Well, I watched the first part of that and I go, yeah, that's yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Daniel LaRusso.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like.
Chevrolet. She's like,
I do have one more question about like being a teacher. Who do you think, like a current wrestler, would be good to teach a seminar for your current students? Like, who would you like to bring in to give their wisdom?
Any of them. I believe anybody that's done anything has something to offer to everybody. I like when Rusev comes in because he trained under me, so it's kind of like reinforcing what I'm saying. So, but that's a selfish way because that's just them reinforcing my stuff. But you got me. Now you're making me think. So,
I'm sorry.
Like making me think what I gotta put on it.
We can talk more about LaRusso if you want. You seem like
Karate Kid guy. Yeah. I'm trying to think who, I'd want an older wrestler. Like I wouldn't want somebody that just was a product of the PC, but I'd want somebody that understands the PC because that's what's going on. So
what about someone like a Kevin Owens?
Kevin would be good. He comes off the indie scene strong, got over, and then understands the system now how it is. But I'm gonna go like with a Norman Smiley, a Norman Smiley because he came through all of it, and he might not have had a top spot or anything, but he's there. He's the UWF of Japan, the shoe fighting. He's had to do characters like Norman Smiley, make the best of it, the Wiggle, the Screaming Norman, and stuff. But he's one hell of a wrestler and stuff like that. But he's also like a current, I believe he's still there, a current trainer in the PC. So he knows what's going on. So he comes from my background because Norman helped train me. Like Norman, a lot of my first matches were with Norman Smiley, right? So he understands that, but he also understands where the product is now. So he also understands, when we say performance center, he also understands PC is politically correct and what's going on too. So he's a survivor. So like, I think he's a perfect coach. He's gentle with his words. He's well spoken. He's not ignorant with his vocabulary. So he can break it down to you where you understand it and stuff. And he's tremendous. And then Jake the Snake, to be honest, Jake, I'd bring Jake in, promos and wrestling psychology. Jake, Norman, the different things. That's why it was just a hard one for me, because you could take any wrestler and learn from him. Mm-hmm. You could take a guy that spent only 3 weeks in the performance center and still learn from him because he spent 3 weeks there. You haven't. Mm-hmm. And he's heard 3 weeks of 5 different coaches telling him something. So or he's picked up something, or he had to do something to get there, whether it was how you work out in the gym, or maybe he was a professional athlete. This all attributes to today's product and wrestling. So
yeah.
So that's a tough one. So I think any seminar is a good seminar. Even if the guy is terrible, you'll just go like, well, I know not to do that.
Fair enough.
You're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something.
But I like that you mentioned Jake the Snake, because I think obviously promos are so important, and not everybody can do a good promo.
Yeah, I lived with him for a little while in Puerto Rico. It was intense. It was like some of his darker times, He keeps, there's no secret to his past or anything like that. But he's the one, and I tell my students, get a notebook. He's the one who told me too. He's like, Bible verse. You hear a Bible verse, you write it down. You hear a song lyric, you write it down. And Luna would tell me the same thing, but Jake, when he was out there, he would scare me because he'd be talking to me so intense. He'd be pulling it. He's teaching me how to do promos, but he's like doing a promo on me. So he's getting me so drawn in. I'm like, is he gonna cut my throat? Because he's like talking to you as he pulls you in. So you take these lyrics, you take some. So as I'm teaching, like, our students now, a lot of it comes from him. I'll say, you got this one line, okay? Now you have a situation. Now you got these different one lines that you can relate to because there was something you heard you liked and you related to it. It caught your ear, your eye. For some reason, you're drawn to these particular lines, whether it's a Bible verse or a song lyric or a movie quote or whatever. And then now you have an angle or situation or whatever in a match, whatever's going on. So now you write your thing around that line, what you can relate to, and you'll find how easy it is you can fill that situation around line because you got a book of different things you can relate to. Oh yeah, it might be something as simple as it can't rain all the time. Quote the Crow.
Can't rain all the time. I love the Crow. Oh, we're getting the wrap it up. Is that what we just got the wrap it up?
Wrap it up
on the Crow.
Wow, he's not a Crow fan. You know why? He's upset that we didn't cover enough Undertaker.
Sorry.
I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to come in up. Whoa, no wonder I've had anxiety separation issues this whole time. I was wondering what's going on. Hey, guy. Miss you. You can hold him.
Oh, thank you.
So, I guess we're wrapping up. So, well, great. It's always awesome to be here.
Thank you. This is great.
Episode 5. So, been with you for 3, 4, and 5, and I don't want to make it sound like a marriage, but it's going faster and faster.
I know. It's gonna be episode 6 soon.
It's good. Now it's like, okay, bye, baby, good night. It's done. We're done. It's over.
This one flew by, right?
It super flew by. So thank you again, always for being here. Hello to your mom and dad and your whole family and everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You can check us out on all the. I believe we're on iTunes now. Yeah. So we're on iTunes, Spotify. Let's get those. Come on, guys. Let's get those YouTube likes up on that page. Just subscribe. Get that out there. So Fangin' N Bangin' with Gangrel on YouTube. Fangin' N Bangin' Gang on Instagram and Facebook. All your platforms. Thank you for all your love and support. And everybody's listening. Share with your friends. We appreciate it. And we're looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gangrel. Thank you, Gangrel.
All right, everybody have a Fangin' N Bangin'.